I just can't wait to get home from school so I can get online and talk with my boyfriend.
Hello everybody, welcome back to week 3 of the Two Tele Community Championship. I'm your host, Silver I suppose, and today we will do I think the 4th match of the week between MaddyCT and RAYEDiO. This was supposed to be last night, but delayed for different reasons. We also have, I can announce this if someone hasn't caught it, one cancellation of a match, the one between Random Noise and Sayano, will sadly not happen due to unforeseen circumstances. So that one will go to Random Noise. But today we will have an actual match. It is again between Maddy and RAYEDiO. Again, this is losers bracket, so the losers of this goes home. Both players have everything to play for, and it's going to be very interesting to see if RAYEDiO can pull off what I would say is an upset. Maddy is in this top 6 group of players right now. All 6 are indeed left in the tournament, and they will be looking all, I think, to qualify out of this week. So RAYEDiO has quite the challenge ahead of her. We will see what she can do. It's going to be very exciting to see. Alright, as Maddy has won the coin flip, I will give chat 1 second to guess what map is being played. Oh, it's Tornado. We are starting off with the FL map. Maddy, of course, has really improved a lot on the FL side of things after there was announced to be an FL map in this week's pool. And I think about anyone, I'm just making this poll right now, I think there's not a single player probably that can beat Maddie on this arena. So we will see that RAYEDiO definitely has quite a task ahead of her on this one specifically. Yeah, it's gonna be tough. But on a different note, it's gonna be also very interesting to see if Maddie can FC, which I think is her goal. Alright, we are ready to head into the first match. It is, again, Tornado FL. Alright, again, really quick. FL really starts once you let go of the first note, so they can all see stuff up until now. RAYEDiO, no slouch, has clearly played the map, practiced a bit of FL, but Maddie just holding full combo so far. Not showing any signs of weakness right now. There's quite a few spots if we're gonna focus on the FLFC specifically. Quite a few spots to slip up on this map. One of them is coming up right here. That slide is pretty tough. Maddie handles it with ease. I think one of the biggest scares of FL, as there was another spot right there where I believe it can easily get a bit scary. So we have a slight freeze there. Wouldn't look too much into that. Yeah, okay. We do see a combo drop there, so no FC sadly from Maddie today, but one miss, still very impressive if she can pull that up. Meanwhile, RAYEDiO is doing her best. But yeah, missing the gap is very scary on FL, because you want to be holding the notes to not miss them entirely, but you don't really see the next note coming, right? So any spot with like tight spacing is really, really tough on FL. You gotta remember all the note lengths. This is another spot that is pretty tough in FL on this map. Maddie handles it just fine though. This entire section is also a bit tricky. You wouldn't know it looking at Maddie's screen, obviously. We can see more than the contestants can. For us, obviously, the screen is just slightly dimmed, but anything outside of the flashlight zone is completely dark for the players. And besides that one pretty innocent miss, you would not think Maddie even had anything covering her screen right now, because she is hitting just about everything with perfect accuracy. But this might be the as we do see Maddie finish the result, that's a 1 OK from Maddie. And probably the biggest lead I have ever seen in any match of TTCC so far. Casual 6.6 million difference. Of course, not to discourage or like put down RAYEDiO at all here. If I was RAYEDiO, I wouldn't even bother practicing this. Maddie was very clear that she was putting everything into this basket of FL. and this map. And given that she is very good at FL, I think it is fair not to consider that the point of like most focus. You know, you wouldn't really put the most hours into the chart. So it's about what you'd expect given the situation. But that puts Maddie in the lead and gives RAYEDiO the map pick. So now we'll see if RAYEDiO has practiced something else instead. You know, obviously with the same amount of prep time between these contestants, she would have a bit more time to practice a different map. RAYEDiO, I think, has a lot of strong suits as a player. Very good at AC, very quick to do like certain jumps and stuff. I think if they have practiced, she can really pull off some great scores. So I'm looking at stuff like Camellia. I think Your Mine is very interesting. Yeah, Camellia is going to be the first pick. And we're already ready to head into this second match between Maddie and RAYEDiO. Currently 1-0. Camellia obviously like the only like generally slow map of this week's pool. That being said, we already do see one combo drop from RAYEDiO. Probably just needing a second to warm up, get into the rhythm of the map. The consequence of one combo break, especially like in the start of the map, isn't huge though. You see now that Champ has come in for both players. It is 30,000 initially, and it is shrinking. RAYEDiO, as I did mention, very good at AC. Beating out Maddie here in the slower sections. But yeah, you can also tell when it comes to like the bigger jumps, Maddie is very, very good at flicking. So we'll regain some of the lost AC points right back. Which just means that RAYEDiO has to be really, really on point if she wants to get this lead back purely from AC alone. It is possible though. As you can see, like, constantly shrinking, like, by several thousand points. If you can really 100% like a lot of these nodes, this is a very doable lead to get back, even if you are one combo drop behind. That also hinges on RAYEDiO not dropping herself for the rest of the map. Maddie currently on FC pace. Struggling to make a really consistent gap here. Yeah, the gap widens back in Maddie's favor. Ooh, and another combo drop. That's going to be really tough now. RAYEDiO praying that Maddie misses in this tougher section coming up with the violin solo. Neither player missing here in this. Oh, I say that. Not quite sticking the landing there. RAYEDiO. We'll find another miss. Bring her 200,000 points behind right now. Oh, but there we go. There's a miss from Maddie. Not gonna see the FC here. Closing the gap by 80,000 instantly. But we are out of the harder part of the chart. So at this point, I think what we're looking for is a miss the gap from Maddie to really equalize the score, which is possible, can happen. one miss input. That's all that needs to happen for a gap miss. If you don't quite release your input, you might hold it over to the next note. It is staying very stable right now. And we are running out of map. Does not look like Maddie is gonna let this lead go. I mean, very close, very, very close map. We see, I think, a 1 OK from Maddie and a 3 OK from RAYEDiO. It is very close between these players on this chart in particular, but Maddie showing slightly more consistency. We'll take the second map here too. And now RAYEDiO only has 5 stars left to pick from. Only gets tougher from here. We have, I mean, Tornado isn't actually at 2.8, let's be real. With flashlight enabled, that is quite a bit higher. The same can, of course, be said for Fig Leaf Rag, which sits at a 5.7 without the modifier. Probably, like, in terms of pure star rating, it's probably the highest one in the pool, even compared to Jevan Polka, I think. That's just pure numbers anyways. I think there's more that goes into a map's difficulty than just the star rating, of course. Play with Fire, I think, is a good example. As we do see, Big Leap, as we just talked about, is going to be the next pick as well. HD. Maddie, I don't think has played a ton of HD. But she has played HD. I know she can definitely handle it. As we are ready to move into this match. RAYEDiO, however, I do know from the qualifiers that she didn't have, I think, any experience. Maybe she had experience, but yeah, she wasn't quite aware of the functions of it, at least. Caught a bit off guard by the fact that the Gladiators was HD. So we do see quite the gap here in the start. RAYEDiO catching on a bit, yeah, missing less now. Maddie is dropping combo as well, but yeah, there we see a champ drop from RAYEDiO. RAYEDiO gonna have to lock in really hard here too. Avoid dropping combo as much as possible, and especially that champ meter. It's not that Maddie is not missing, but the difference is very big right now. The lead has grown to 1 million coming out of this verse 1. And it continues to grow as Maddie just shows like more consistency in general, right? One thing I do find is interesting, actually I will hold that one. Beautiful. As I was about to say, I do wonder if the FL practice is going to pay off for Maddie in HD as well. If you think about it, HD is kind of just like a lesser version, in a sense, of FL. FL forcing you to memorize the whole song, kinda. On HD, I think if you have memorized the whole song, HD is quite a bit easier, because you do get way more visual help. Could even be that someone like Maddie could even practice on FL for this map and really see the payoff in HD, but that is left to see. We do not have enough data for that, I think, quite yet. The lead has grown to 3.5 million. Not on a specific spot in particular here, really throwing RAYEDiO off, but it's just Maddie showing a lot of comfort with HD. Pulling off a pretty great score here, Maddie, just in general. Ooh, as we do see a disconnect, I think, like, very... No, never mind. Just maybe like a desync issue, because Maddie is indeed on the scoreboard, so that was not a disconnect, I believe. That can probably happen. Yep. But yeah, that means map 3 goes to Maddie. We are out of modifier maps, but still left with quite a few. I think most of these are quite unique from each other. The only thing you can maybe like connect the dots on a bit are running through the castles and picnic. I'd say they're both like fairly all right maps with some tap runs that are pretty tricky. Running through the castle is a bit more jump heavy though in terms of aim, and I think picnic is a bit more straight input focused. You know, you need more inputs in the tap sections. We are going to see Pluvialis Fulva for map number 4, which is pretty unique, I think, as a chart. Has a lot of slow sections, but it's littered with these like small spots of very tough tap runs up and down that really threaten to ruin your combo, break your champ meter. Whole ordeal. And the intro and not exactly outro, but there's some bass sections that are also very rough if you don't have that snap aim, because the spacing is tight. There's a lot of space between them. I'm interested to see RAYEDiO perform on this. I think she definitely has the potential to get a really great score here. So best of luck to RAYEDiO in pulling this comeback off. We are ready to go into match or round number 4 of this match. Pluvialis Fulva. I just realized the text is covering the other text. That's cool. Both players holding FC. But as we talked about before, yeah, these jumps are throwing RAYEDiO off a little bit compared to Maddie. Maddie very good at these quick jumps between notes, and RAYEDiO is not quite as consistent. We'll find, I think, a couple misses right there and a champ meter break. As will Maddie though, on this really tough tap runs, as I mentioned before. Ooh, Maddie finding a whole combo though. Very impressive. Yeah, these runs are the bread and butter of what makes this map hard for sure. I think most people could practice just the intro part and get that down quite well. But of course there's quite a bit more to this map that makes it really hard. And right there, good example of really weird rhythms too. A lot of triplets, a lot of switch up between triplets and 16ths, and I believe that's like a sextuplet kind of thing. I'm not entirely sure. I did chart it, but I didn't really spend too much time thinking about what it actually strictly was in terms of music theory. As we do see here, a champ break from Maddie will give RAYEDiO some points back, but given that RAYEDiO is currently 900,000 rather, sorry. 9 million would be in the minus. It's not quite that bad. This section here too is quite a bit easier. With some practice, I think most players will find this part of the chart to be more of a reprieve, besides that bit. Just kind of coming out of nowhere. RAYEDiO almost getting full combo out of that transition right there. But this does mark the end of the slow section. Ooh, so we do see Maddie dropping champ there. That's going to be a slight advantage to RAYEDiO. Technically, more than enough map left for RAYEDiO to take back this lead. Ah, we see another one right there. It's gonna be 100,000. A bit more actually. Giving right back to Maddie, or to RAYEDiO rather. So not having champ on these long notes actually quite impactful. With the scoring change, of course, long notes worth much less relatively to what they were worth before, but they're still worth more than short notes. So you still have the same goal of keeping combo for the long notes as much as you can. It just means that those really short notes are not irrelevant anymore as they used to be. Both players messing up that timing of that one. Yeah, these are really, really tricky runs. For many reasons. One thing is just tap inputs. Because of the rhythm being quite weird. It's really not that easy to just get the inputs right, but also just the varying movements you have to do with the input. If it's mouse or tablet, it's gonna be hard regardless. But yeah, we do see Maddie taking map number 4 as well. It's gonna be 4-0 match point for Maddie. RAYEDiO left with 4 shards here for a potential reverse sweep, and they're all pretty hard. As are most maps in this week 3 pool. Curious exactly which one I'd pick. I can comment on the background stopping like 3 seconds before the song does. That is actually just how the video is. The actual YouTube upload. That's just how the video was made. So I didn't manually go in and like keep it going as the chart creator. I just copied that video, the bad boy down, and pasted it in. But if you do look up the song on YouTube, which you all should do, check out the creator of Pluvialis Fulva, 59 Squared. Makes a lot of these cool charts about birds, specifically. Different birds you can find in the Singaporean region. Very cool. A lot of different types of genres and interesting music in general. Check him out. Back to this match. Match point. We have You Are Mine being picked for this potential beginning of a reverse sweep. I think this is a good choice from RAYEDio's part, although I do worry a bit, given that this is a very jump-heavy map. Like most of the map is completely fine, but you gotta nail these jumps. That's what most of the map boils down to. It's not very tap-heavy, it's not very ACK-heavy. It's just about not losing combo. See, I think that's a matter of perspective, Maddie. Yes, we are ready to head into match point match number 5. Maddie doing the exact thing I did. Kind of forgetting about the pitch rising right there. Luckily it rises so slowly you have time to adjust. She's not gonna lose combo, and neither is either of these players so far. Oh, maybe actually I did miss a combo break right there from RAYEDiO. As she is 150 behind. That should be at least one combo loss, potentially 2. You see a champ right there as well. It's gonna put her about 300,000 down. Another combo break. That, as far as I have been able to pay attention to, still on that FC. And with that additional break, we just see the lead growing to 500,000. Now heading towards 600, 700. Not looking great for RAYEDiO here. Maddie not pulling any punches, just staying very consistent on this map. As we've kind of seen on the other charts as well tonight, it's really these jumps that are catching RAYEDiO off guard. The source of most of her misses. Heading towards the latter half of this chart. Looking really rough for RAYEDiO. Oh, never mind, the song ends right there. I keep forgetting. Heading towards the last 5 seconds, rather. Maddie will, with that, take the win. Stays in the tournament. RAYEDiO sadly eliminated from TTCC. Congratulations to Maddie. We will be seeing her in week 4 rather, fighting out the losers bracket still. Week 4, I can mention this now too. With the format we have, week 4 we'll be playing 2 matches, I believe. Or rather, I should phrase that correctly. Okay, in the losers bracket we will see 2 matches in week 4. And the semi-finalists, which is Electro and the winner between Albert and Assailant, will be not playing week 4 shards. Instead, the losers bracket will be doing a catch-up round, catch up to the main winners bracket. So that means we'll get to see Maddie at least one match next week. And they want to do a tiebreaker here, I'm hearing, which is, of course, encouraged. We will never stop anyone from tooting if they so please. So we're going to see EM and Polka, I believe, for the tiebreaker, I assume. For an encore, of course, Maddie has taken map number 5 and is the winner, but we don't mind our contestants putting up a good show. We have time for, I believe, as many maps as you guys can handle. As far as I understand our current schedule, the only outstanding match should be Albert versus Salient, which is happening tomorrow in 15 hours and 15 minutes. Oh, we are doing all the maps. Lovely. This is going to be Picnic. I am double checking that I'm not spouting nonsense, but yes, this does seem to be the case. With this match done, there is one match left. It's going to be versus Salem versus Albert tomorrow. 15 hours, 15 minutes from now. We will post the time as, or like, post it as an event on the channel, of course. We are ready to head into Picnic for this match. Show matches. I don't know how to define these. For fun tooting. Both players not quite handling those tap runs perfectly. Yeah, we see Maddie break combo there too, but she does at least keep champ. So this map is quite manageable, I'd say, but you have those smaller spikes of difficulty in the tap runs, right? Little triplets. This part is also quite tricky, actually, especially that bit. Yeah, we do see both players missing right there. But otherwise, both players holding combo for the most part. Even the Maddie clearing that triplet absolutely perfectly. And it does seem that RAYEDiO, now that the pressure is off, maybe stepping it up a bit. I mean, this is a pretty strong performance. As I say that, I do jinx it, of course, with a gap miss. But up until that, holding a very close run to Maddie. Yeah, nailing this. Very good solo from RAYEDiO there. Maddie also the great showing. But I think a combo break right there will be transferred right back. Yeah, RAYEDiO struggling with these top inputs. Usually you see that even for the experienced players, 2 fast notes into a short note, or like 2 short notes into a longer note, that's completely manageable because you can just use 3 fingers. But as soon as it's like 4, it gets quite annoying, as this map does have one of those patterns, right, where you have to do 4 pretty fast inputs to not miss the gap, and those are just quite uncomfortable if you haven't practiced it a lot. All right. That means Maddie is 6-0 so far. We'll see play with fire and running through castles, I assume, as well. Yeah. And it's going to be running through castles up next. This chart, very... it's pretty consistent, I'd say. It's not like any huge dislikes. You have the base section, I think, in the middle that is like quite tricky, but it's just generally kind of hard. It's very easy to miss anywhere in this map. It's gonna be interesting to see. I'm not sure if we're gonna see any FCs on this one in particular. It might be a bit tougher than the difficulty would let on with that middle section, but it's definitely possible. And we are ready to head into chart number 7. Running through castles. Started by Gloomhonk. Shoutouts to Gloomhonk, of course. Amazing chart creator. There will be more Gloomhonk maps coming up as we get into the other weeks of TTCC. Maddie managed to FC that part, but neither player losing champ. Ooh. Another really strong transition there from RAYEDiO. Letting up a bit on these easier parts, but really showing that she has gotten this far into the tournament through no flukes. RAYEDiO able to handle quite hard patterns. Just kind of losing out on the consistency side of it to a player like Maddie, of course. Maddie being very high on the leaderboards right now with that number 5 spot right now. And that might only grow as she looks to really master that FL modifier. She's going to get some really amazing scores coming in terms of TT. One of the goals as chart makers and organizers of TTCC is, of course, to try and highlight a big variety of skill sets. And if anyone is tuning into this tournament match not that familiar with the competitive side of trombone champ, they might be a bit confused when you start talking about variety of skill sets. How many could there possibly be? But if you do get into it, you will realize that there's actually a lot of different ways you can be good at this game. And between the top players, there's always some difference that makes them better or worse at certain things. Which is, all, of course, what we want to highlight in this tournament. But this is going to be 7-0? Yeah. Maddie racking up the wins, going for the full 8. PB on that is 86, Maddie says. I actually don't have a reference as to how high that is. I have not played the map, I'm gonna be honest. as it should be. We are doing Yemen Polka first and ending it with Play with Fire. Does make sense if you actually order them by difficulty as well. Pure star rating at least. But we're getting 2 Miku shards. Of course, this week having 3 of them. Quite Miku heavy. We've also had the song Miku by Anna Managuchi in the previous weeks. So we are ready to head into this 8th match. I guess I can give some context as to why there's a lot of Miku maps. That's if anyone hasn't caught that bit. We are only using shards and art that we have expressed permission to use in terms of copyright and all that. Which means anything you will see and hear in TTCC will be copyright safe. I don't know how to describe it. While I'm also looking at these players battle it out. So that does mean that Miku shards especially, the vocal community being very open to sharing their music with other people and for the music to be used in other spots. It just so happens that you will see... Oh. You see a disconnect right there, I think. Might be a spectator disconnect given that both players see the DC at the same time. Ah, there we go. Both players are back. Yeah. But both players seem to be still connected, so all good. But yeah, shout out to BW actually, the charter of this chart. Getting copyright from everyone involved in this song is actually quite tricky, as even just figuring out who has copyright for what for Yemen Polka is quite tricky. You have the lyrics, which is copyrighted by Automania. No, wait, no, I mean the I don't have the list in front of me. It's the Finnish band that covered the scat version. They have copyright of the scat lyrics. Then there's an original guy who has the copyright for the actual song, Yemen Polka. I believe he has been dead for a while though, so that one has gone into public domain. But then you have as well the remixer, original remixer of the Yemen Polka for the Miku version, and then the remixed version of that one again. So there's like 4 layers of remixing going on here, and copyrights do matter for all of them. So shout outs to BW for figuring all that out and making sure that that was all in place. And this next one, a bit easier on the copyright side. Camellia, very generous in general with his music being used in rhythm games. We're gonna see this one last. Camellia banger. We are ready to head into the final match. Will Maddie do the full sweep, the 9 chart sweep? Map very, very tough. Speaking of skill sets you can have in trombone champ, the mastery of rhythm required to input 16th note swing that this chart has, or this song rather. It's very tricky. I can also let on as the chart creator. It's not even just normal swing. Most of this chart, in terms of swing, it operates from a 5-to-3 ratio swing, which is quite different from the normal 2-to-1. It just means that every 16th is delayed by like a different amount than what you would think. But then it also changes it up because it has triplets as well. Like these. These are even. But when it actually does swing, it is a 5-to-3 ratio. Very complicated stuff. Pain in the ass to chart. A bit of a reprieve from all the swing going into the bass section of the chart. This part especially tricky to read the rhythms on, but you can spam most of it if you really want to. Handling these rhythms with ease though, look at that. Unfazed. So we head into the hardest section of the chart. The piano solo. Maddy, ooh. Ooh, oh my goodness. Oh, that's almost a full combo on the piano solo. That's actually hilariously impressive. Maddy just showing off. Electro, you have to be really scared if there's a swing rhythm chart in the matchup, potential matchup between those two players. Also these taps just breezing through them. Apparently we are jogging, but ooh. Lovely. All right. That is a 90% from Maddy to finish this week off. Absolutely insane score, actually. That is really, really good. RAYEDiO also doing quite well. A more reasonable, I would say, 72%. That's still a really good score for this chart, keep in mind. I feel like, isn't 90 like worth TT? Like that's really good. Yeah, that's a 522. Like, yeah. All right, yeah, that's the highest score ever set on Play with Fire so far. Very, very impressive from Maddy. Especially that piano solo. Holy moly! I feel like if you can nail that part, you can nail anything. Really, that's really amazing to see. Such a good performance. Yeah, I mean the TT is especially impressive in the context of this match being very map being very underweighted. I think if you are playing it fairly, if you are actually inputting the correct rhythms of this chart, not spamming at all on the swing parts, this chart is way harder than a 6. I'm just saying. because this map just doesn't play fair, you know? Like, you have to do so many weird rhythms and strict inputs. And it doesn't really get picked up by the algo, right? Like, the algo just looks at the strict tap inputs you have to do, and like, okay, this is pretty fast, you know? But it doesn't have the ability to, like, look at the swing rhythm and say, okay, this is a complicated rhythm. So in that sense, yeah, this map is definitely underweighted. A 520 on this is very, very good. So yeah, okay, let's stop waffling about TT and stuff. We have one match left, sadly, yeah. Again, Random Noise versus Ciano. Ciano did get impacted by the floods in Brazil that are going on and had to, for that reason, back out, which is very sad to see, especially considering that match was only delayed due to our server issues last night. So our apologies to Ciano. Best of luck with the situation, of course. And we will see Random Noise going through from that bracket. That means we have the whole loser bracket side of it done. It's gonna be, I can say specifically too, if I get it up here in a second, who will be facing off with each other, because I don't think it's necessarily... Yeah, no, it's Crafted Card versus Maddie, and Beta versus Random Noise for the losers bracket next week. And then we will see both of the... Okay, this is a bit complicated to all like just say out loud. Okay, but the winner between Maddie and Crafted Card will face Illuminati Salad next week as well. And the winner of Beta versus Random Noise will face the loser of Albert versus Salient. Speaking of Albert versus Salient, this map will be, or match will be happening tomorrow. You have the times up there. I believe they are wrong, so don't pay them any mind, because May 4th was 2 days ago. It's gonna be tomorrow, depending on where you live. It might be already today, but either way, it's UTC. It's gonna be 2 p.m. I believe. May 6th, 2 p.m. UTC, I believe. Yeah, which is 16 Central European Standard Time, which is 10 a.m. EST. Yeah, doing all these things in my head right now. That's fine. Either way, it's easier to say, I guess, just like, okay, it's 15 hours from now. All right, so stay tuned for that one. We're going to be putting an event up on the server, so you will be able to see it. And that's going to be probably the most close hype matchup we will see this week. I think this is the first time we're going to see, besides the show match between me and Maddie, anyone who's right next to each other on the leaderboards facing off against each other. And also two really strong players with a lot of experience in HT specifically. It's going to be super interesting. If you can, try and tune in tomorrow in 15 hours. Otherwise, you can catch them on YouTube, of course, because we do record them and put them on there. So if you just want to have the experience after the fact, you can also have that. All right, that concludes it. Congratulations again to Maddie for going on with the 5-0. Technically the 9-0, but again, for everybody who has lost this week, especially Ciano, thank you all for participating, and I hope we can see you next TTCC, because of course this should not be the only TTCC that ever happens. We do want to make more of these next year, and the year after that, and the year after that, forever. And on that note, I think we're gonna end the stream. I could probably just waffle about forever, but that wouldn't be healthy. So I think I'm gonna call it.
remember to put on silencer.